Welcome to the show. Sergeant Richard Lloyd, Public Information Officer for the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office. I want to recognize our sponsor for the show, the Santa Rosa County Crime Stoppers. 437-STOP, that's the number you want to call if you have any information in reference to any of the fugitives we're going to go over during the show. And I want to welcome our co-host and our guest who is going to come on a little early and go over some stuff with us. We have Captain Doug Bringmans with us and Captain Haynes. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I am good.
Very good.
Awesome.
How are you?
I'm doing good, sir.
Good.
I'm trying to see what we're all going to talk about. I can't wait to hear what we're going to have to say about your division, sir.
This is going to be a really interesting show. So let's get right on with the hot topics of what's been going on the past 2 weeks. As usual, vehicle burglaries is still our number one topic. Folks, lock your cars. There's no other way to put it. Thieves are walking around at night. They're testing your car doors. If your car is unlocked, they will go in and they're going to take your items. So just, it's as simple as it is, period. And all of the cases that we are seeing up until, I believe, 2 days ago, have all been to unlock cars. We did have one situation at a boat ramp. I think it was Archie Glover.
Right.
Where we had one of our first smash and grabs of a window. And that case is currently being investigated, and we do have some leads on that, but all of them, other than that, have been to unlock cars in Santa Rosa County. So we urge you to please lock your car. That's all you need to do is just hit that button, and you will help us resolve these crimes simply by not becoming a target. And we can't stress how important that is. Teen Challenge.
The Teen Driving Challenge?
Mm-hmm.
It's an initiative put forward to help teen drivers, improve their driving skills. Originally, we had it slated for people not being able to, or kids not being able to drive unless they had a year of their license already, but I think the sheriff opened it up to people with driving permits. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely, it's a very good program. We've had some really good success with it, and we're going to try to put it on a continuous basis in cooperation with the schools.
Yeah, and unfortunately, schools have stopped their driver training program. And this is where the sheriff stepped up and wanted to put this in place so we could afford the students or younger groups to get some good driver training, defensive driver training. So this isn't to replace driver training, it's just to give some defensive tactics.
Yeah, and the scary part is this year my daughter gets her driving permit.
Oh boy.
So I'm going to have to put her in that Teen Driving Challenge.
So to sign up for this Teen Driver Challenge, all you need to do is go to santarosasheriff.org. Under the Programs tab, you'll see the Teen Driver Challenge. You could sign up directly through there, or you can contact our training division at 983-1234, real easy number to remember, and give them a call. And it just opened up for a teen with learner's permit. Sheriff Johnson wanted to open that up so we get some more participation. And let's get signed up on that. It's a great opportunity, and I think it's a great way to learn some good approaches to driving. What do you think, Captain?
Sounds fun.
Yeah? You gonna be
How old's your daughter now?
7.
Oh, she's not ready yet for
No.
Teen Driving Challenge. A little early.
Yes, I agree.
Also in the news, we had some burglaries up in the north end of the county and over in Pace. And I still can't fathom why somebody would steal from an elementary school. Jay Elementary School suffered a burglary earlier in the week, and Southern Silver and Gold and Gunner's Pond, all of them were burglarized, and we believe it's the same individual that's hitting some other locations and schools throughout Alabama, and I think it was Gulf Shores as well.
Yeah, Southern Alabama he was hitting.
The one from Gunners, they actually made an arrest. It was that was a Middle Eastern subject. They arrested him, but all the other ones appear to be related.
Yeah, and if anyone has any information, and we've put this up on our Facebook page, take a look at that. If you know any of these individuals, you have any information, you don't have to come forward and give us your name. All you need to do is call Crime Stoppers, remain anonymous, 437-STOP, or you can go to srccs.com or the new P3 app, which you can download on your phone and submit information through there and talk two-way with investigators. I used to be in charge of Crime Stoppers.
Yes, I did.
That was a fun time, wasn't it?
It was.
P3's new since
Don't even know what it is.
your days. It's the new app. Now we got an app that you can just chat two ways with investigators and some cool stuff.
Good.
Good stuff. So watch our videos on Facebook. We put a lot of information on there of wanted fugitives and these vehicle burglaries. And then speaking of vehicle burglaries, we just put out another commercial. This one's a little bit different. Take a look at that. It's in reference to vehicle burglaries and what you can do to protect yourselves.
Do what?
Man, you guys are really quiet today.
I know we are. I'm just listening to you. 'Cause
I
you're
thought
giving
we
me
were
a lot
going
of
to the
information.
commercial. I'm watching like I thought it was like coming on or something.
No, not yet. Not yet. We had a retirement recently.
Oh, Sergeant George Hawkins.
He worked for you, didn't he?
Yes.
I'll let you talk about him.
Sergeant Hawkins, his last position, he was the director over communications and dispatch. He was with us for actually 31 years. Was actually one of the first people I rode with when I got hired on. He's done a great job for the agency. He's brought communications a long way with upgrading radio systems, the towers, making it just safer for our deputies as a whole.
Yeah, it changed a lot over the years because I know in the beginning when we started here, we had a lot of issues with our radios, and over time, they've been able to resolve a lot. And I know he helped build the new system the way it is, and it actually makes us able to communicate with not just the sheriff's office, but we can communicate with fire, rescue, search, and all the other agencies. I think the only one that we can't direct communicate with is Escambia, but we have like a patch system set up, but we can communicate with Okaloosa, with Pensacola Police Department, so it's definitely a plus for us.
And he did all of that. We want to wish him the best, Sergeant Hawkins, who was promoted to lieutenant upon his retirement.
Right.
Want to wish him the best. I hear he's going to do some fishing and some yard work, and wish him the best after
I think
his
he's staying
31
on
years.
with us as a reserve.
Is he?
I believe so.
Good. My radio needs some work, and I'll call him to come in. So wish him the best. Hope to see you again, and let's go to now it's time for a commercial break.
Now let's talk about the commercial, not a commercial break. You were acting like we were going to see this new burglary commercial.
No, that's
and
on our
I'm
Facebook
waiting for it to
page.
pop up. And
No,
I'm
that's
just
on
like sitting
Facebook.
here staring at it.
I know. I was going to see a commercial.
No, that's on Facebook.
Oh, it's on Facebook.
Yeah, that's also new since you were.
Facebook? No, it's not.
It's not.
No.
Okay. We'll be right back. Hang tight.
They say that crime doesn't pay. Well, that's just not true. Santa Rosa Crime Stoppers will give you up to $3,000 for information that leads to an arrest or indictment. Contact Crime Stoppers with information and you can receive a cash reward. All calls are completely and always anonymous, so you'll never have to worry about any retribution. Santa Rosa Crime Stoppers. We take the bad guys off the street and put the money in your pocket. Call 437-STOP.
And welcome back to the show. I want to recognize our sponsor, the Santa Rosa County Crime Stoppers, 437-STOP. That's the number you want to call if you have any information, want to remain anonymous. And the rewards are up to $3,000. So I want to welcome again Captain Scott Haynes, Administrative Support Captain. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I recently in January got moved to the administrative side, which was a big change from what I've ever really done in the past. I was used to the investigative side, patrol side, things like that. That's what I did for most of my years before that. I've actually learned a lot since January, a lot of the stuff that a lot of people really don't ever aspire to learn about.
Like what?
A lot of the ins and outs about human resources, the hiring process, any type of like wrongful termination, litigation issues,
It's not as simple as everybody thinks it is.
and then all the ins and outs. Pretty much under the administrative support division, it's mostly all the civilian sectors of the sheriff's office. You have civil and warrants, human resources, professional standards, the volunteers, courier, IT, all the computer issues, dispatch.
Dispatch is huge.
And that's probably one of the most report takers and records. All of those things fall under administrative services. So there's a lot of things going on in there.
It's a lot.
Luckily, there's a lot of good supervisors that assist me with running that on a regular basis. But there are some issues that need handled at a higher level. And then that's when I get involved.
Well, I'm sure in each separate section inside that has their own unique set of factors that need to be dealt with or have to be kept into consideration, and I'm sure it's a lot to juggle.
It is, and the biggest thing is just dealing with the people, the personnel issues. These people are like a family, just like we are on the road, but they're locked in a room together pretty much most of the day. And there's certain issues with some, but it's a lot of stuff. I mean, just civil alone, they get about an average of 1,000 papers that come through their division a month, whether it's child support, whether it's just legal summonses, things like that. It's a lot of papers for those ladies to actually have to process and deal with, and then with warrants and dispatch is a whole other thing. People think that we just have people that sit there and answer phones and it's a piece of cake.
Dispatch is pretty complex.
It's a very complicated job, and it's very
very stressful.
very stressful, and to some extent, as they work together with patrol side sometimes does not understand how much dispatch does for us, and vice versa. It's sometimes there's a lack of communication between the two, but that's something that you've been improving on a lot.
Well, the dispatcher, when they're talking on the radio, they're usually doing like 3 different other things that you don't even know they're doing. They're on the phone, they're typing, they're talking to this person, but over here they're talking to this person, and it's hard to get a deputy to do 2 things at the same time.
Correct.
But these people in dispatch, they do a great job, but it could be dead. There could be nothing going on, but then all of a sudden it goes to total chaos. One thing I do want to remind people of, though, is we get a lot of 911 calls that are definitely not 911 emergencies. Could be an emergency to that person, like I woke up and my car window was broken or something like that. That's not what 911 is for. We do have non-emergency lines, and they are also on our website and on the internet. Just because you don't want to look it up on the internet or take the time to find the number doesn't justify calling 911, because we only have a certain number of 911 lines, and if they're tied up when a true emergency comes in, it's not a good situation.
As a matter of fact, I was just looking up while you were talking, we had over 149,000 calls for service last year that went through dispatch.
And at any given time, we may have 3 or 4 dispatchers, 4 if we're lucky, in there at any given time.
And then maybe one call taker, depending on how it's staffed.
Right.
Because we have a shortage of dispatchers.
Yeah. Matter of fact, you have some open positions in dispatch.
We do. It seems like we always have open positions in dispatch. We just interviewed a group, and hopefully they will all work out. That'd be the best scenario, but we all know that doesn't happen. That even stresses the job out even more when you have these guys and girls in there that are giving their all for 12-hour stretches at a time, and they're already shorthanded when it comes to wanting to take time off, or somebody calls in sick. And we do have, unfortunately, we have a required call out, on call now to fill vacancies, but hopefully we can get some more people hired, trained, because it's a long training process too.
It is.
You have to get different certifications.
How long is it? Is it like 2-3 months?
Yes, it's pretty lengthy. It's about as long as almost as long as patrol FTO altogether. But anyway, hopefully we'll get the stress reduced on them, but they're a great group of people to work with. My office is actually in the communications center, so I work with them more than any of the other divisions, but it's quite the chore. Working homicides and robberies and things sounds a lot easier. I keep trying to talk to Shane, see if he wants to swap.
So you're really a behind the scenes kind of guy.
Correct.
So what nobody really would see what you do when we talk to people at home. You're behind the scenes, you're dealing with all the internal aspects, you're dealing with everything that's happening that folks at home won't really see.
Correct.
Where before you used to be on the front line, investigations, you were PIO at one point, you were with Crime Stoppers, so all of that was front. Now you're more in the background dealing with internal office administrative.
Very, very rarely. It's kind of like a good analogy. Kind of like when you keep your dog in a crate during the day at the house, and when you let him out, he's so happy to get out and run around. That's like me at the end of the day. Because I'm kept. When it's different when you go from being somebody who likes to get out and do a lot of stuff, and anybody will tell you that, you still have that desire, and I still have rewarding times when I'm in my position now, but there's just something about going out and doing stuff that it's that officer in you that it's hard to get out of you. So, but yeah, so once you get out, and you're like, wow, I'm outside, kind of thing, you know.
Did you write a ticket the other day?
I did.
This morning I heard him on the radio.
This morning, and then I
You had to call me and ask me what the code was for a ticket.
That's a lie. I wrote one yesterday, and a young man went to jail because of it. So,
You called me yesterday,
hey,
too.
I still like doing that kind of stuff, but see, you're trying to make me look bad. I know my codes.
You should. You're over dispatch.
But honestly, it's stuff. I just went to a training this past week in Tallahassee that just dealt with things like risk management and personnel issues and all these things that most people don't think about, but they're everyday occurrences at the sheriff's office with like workers' comp issues and termination issues and discipline and hiring issues and work environment issues, benefits. It's a lot of stuff that I take for granted and a lot of people take for granted, but you know, you guys, when you go to the doctor, all your stuff's taken care of, your paycheck's there when you want it.
Everybody
your
thinks it just
uniforms
kinda
show
runs
up
on its own.
when they get ordered. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people don't realize goes on.
I think most people think it just kind of runs on its own behind the scenes. Well, it doesn't. You have to have an orchestrator such as Captain Haynes to.
No, I
Keep
have
it
a
all
very
moving.
good
Make it all
orchestra that does very well with little supervision. So
What's the most challenging part about your job?
really,
Probably a couple of them.
honestly, the most challenging part of my job is, like I said, I'm very familiar with all the criminal aspects of different things and the investigative side. Before January, I never dealt with a lot of these issues. So it's learning a whole different, the business side of it, the budgeting of it, all the requisitions that come in. Like I said, people think it just appears, you put in a requisition to order some stuff and they just want to order stuff. Yeah, there's a budget that stuff comes out of, and they think that the money is just there, but you know, they have a set budget. You know, it's just not, we need more shirts, we're gonna get shirts, let's get some boots, let's get this, hey, how about this? I mean, you know, with patrol cars, same
Exactly.
thing. It's like they grow on trees. We have a set budget of money that we get, and I've learned I have to look at that a lot more, and just the business side of it that everybody thinks is just not there, it just goes. So that's the biggest challenge is just
Making
learning
sure all the pieces fit.
a whole different side of law enforcement. So
Awesome.
it's been a good learning experience, and I'm looking forward to learning more about it. But it's totally different.
Let's do this. We'll bring you back for the third segment. Let's go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
They say that crime doesn't pay. Well, that's just not true. Santa Rosa Crime Stoppers will give you up to $3,000 for information that leads to an arrest or indictment. Contact Crime Stoppers with information and you can receive a cash reward. All calls are completely and always anonymous, so you'll never have to worry about any retribution. Santa Rosa Crime Stoppers. We take the bad guys off the street and put the money in your pocket. Call 437-STOP.
And welcome back to the show. I want to recognize our sponsor, the Santa Rosa County Crime Stoppers, 437-STOP. That's the number you want to call. If you know any of these wanted fugitives, we're about to go over. You ready, Captain? This is our favorite.
I'm absolutely ready.
Captain. And let's get started.
I'm excited about this first guy.
Are you?
I am.
Why is that?
I just like that thing going on right there.
That thing on
Like a
his neck?
Spider-Man kind of thing. It's like a tribute.
That
I
is
thought it was a hand
interesting.
grenade.
Hand grenade.
I don't know what it is.
First up is going to be Notorious Laurel Turner, black male, 25 years of age, 5'9" inches tall, black hair, brown eyes, active warrant for family offense interfering with custody.
The next subject is Terry James Townsend. He's a white male, 42 years of age, 6'2", 175 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. He's wanted for violation of probation for aggravated battery with intent to commit harm, resisting officer without violence, and assault.
Next up, William Henry Robinson, black male, 32 years of age, 6 foot tall, black hair, brown eyes, and he has an active warrant for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill, child abuse without great bodily harm.
The next subject is a white female named Lauren Nicole Robertson, 29 years of age, 5 foot 5 inches, 135 pounds, red hair, hazel eyes. She's wanted for failure to appear for battery on an officer, firefighter, or EMT.
Was that during the winter?
No, I think that was the jacket they wear when they
turtle
go. No, I think that's the one they wear when you are suicidal.
Oh.
Next up, Amy Jo Pettigrew, white female, 41 years of age, 5 foot 6 inch tall, brown hair, brown eyes. Active warrant for failure to appear, grand theft, fraud, utter false instrument, possession of harmful new legend drug without a prescription, possession and or use of drug equipment.
Next subject is Joshua Shane McIntosh, white male, 30 years of age, 6 foot 1, 160 pounds. He's wanted for larceny of more than 300 and less than 10,000, and from a 65-year-old person for exploiting the elderly.
He needs to go to jail. You don't do that to old folks.
Well, he has a warrant.
Next up, Michael Keith Holt, white male, 43 years of age, 5 foot 7 inch tall, brown hair, hazel eyes. Active warrant for failure to appear, possession of controlled substance without a prescription, possession and or use drug equipment, order to take into custody, and violating a drug patch.
Next subject, his first name is E.V.?
EV.
E. First name's E.
EV.
Dumas the third. He's a black male, 30 years of age, 6 foot tall, 170 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. Wanted for violation of probation for grand theft.
And next up, Jeremiah Crenshaw, black male, 58 years of age, 5 foot 10 inch tall, black hair, brown eyes. Active warrant for commit domestic battery by strangulation. He needs to get off the streets. Turn yourself in, Mr. Crenshaw.
Next person is Rollins Nicholas Calrissian. It's a black male, 28 years of age, 6 foot 1, 255 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He's wanted for violation of probation for possession of a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting an officer without violence.
These warrants are active as of June 14th, and if you have any information in reference to these individuals and you want to remain anonymous, call Santa Rosa County Crime Stoppers,
437-SDOP.
and you can get a reward of up to $3,000 if they are arrested. And I know what I can do with $3,000. What would you do, Captain? $3,000 cash right now.
I wouldn't quit work or anything.
That's for sure.
I'd probably pay for my daughter's braces.
There you go.
Those are expensive.
I know,
They
right?
are expensive.
And that's another thing that's changed is you were talking about how I used to do the Crime Stoppers. It used to be up to 1,000. Now it's up to 3,000, which is really good.
It is.
And just a bunch of, I don't know if you've addressed it in the past, but I know when the whole Boyette thing was going on, there was a lot of negative comments that weren't very fair to the Crime Stoppers organization about, they don't want to pay their part of the reward, things like that. Being that that's managed by the Attorney General's office, there are certain guidelines that have to be followed with that. And unless the actual information is called in to the Crime Stoppers hotline or done through a web tip submission, they cannot pay it out. You can go to an officer and tell him to his face, and it's good information, and as much as Crime Stoppers appreciates that, they can't pay you for that.
Same thing if you call on 911 and give all the information, they can't pay you because Crime Stoppers have to be anonymous.
And I know that the Marshal Service and different things like that and FDLE offered like big rewards,
Sure, yeah.
and they paid because they're allowed to because they weren't governed by those restrictions. The basic thing is most people want to call and give information just because they're good people. Most of the rewards probably still go unclaimed.
Yeah, they do.
I know that's how it was when I did it. But if you have life or death information, don't you need to do the right thing. Call 911. But Crime Stoppers is very time sensitive. If you do call Crime Stoppers and you tell that person that it's an urgent tip, the call taker, they will call our dispatch immediately by phone and tell them that information. So, it's a process. It's nothing that Crime Stoppers did not want to pay out. They wanted to pay that money.
Sure.
Even though they knew they couldn't, they wanted to pay it. But then they could lose their grant funding and their 501c3 status and everything else, and they just can't do it. But anyway, I just want to throw that out. I appreciate Crime Stoppers. It's a great organization. I know there's a lot of good people, and it does great things. It's just the unfortunate that the public didn't know that during that time as to why they took a lot of heat for it.
Good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Great point. And Crime Stoppers is a great thing for our community. They take bad guys off the street. You know, they have that special niche, that market where people need to remain anonymous for whatever reason. And if it wasn't for that, you'd still have a lot of bad guys in the streets.
Right, and Crime Stoppers is not the sheriff's office. Crime Stoppers is their own organization. They're all volunteers.
Yes.
None of them are paid.
Nope.
And they do this because they want to help their community. And it's an international organization. I mean, there's chapters all over the world, and they all follow the same guidelines. This isn't, it changes. I mean, the same rules here are the same rules up in New England and California, everywhere else. It's not like we chose.
Just like you
the
said,
rules.
it's been basically run by the Attorney General's office, and they decide.
Right. That's
what
where
the
our
rules
funding
are.
comes
That's where
from.
the funding comes
Yeah.
from.
And we have a contract with them that this is the rules that we need to abide by. And we have to. Open positions, law enforcement, we currently have 3 open positions. Detention has 5. Dispatches, we have 5. Just had some information from Sheriff Johnson earlier this morning, Captain, that we were talking to him
Correct, about the budget for next year.
3 positions
If
potentially.
the budget goes through the way it is, and it looks pretty promising, we would have 23 new positions. 6 would be patrol, 2 for the school resource, 1 for the DARE program, 8 for corrections, 2 for IT, and then 4 other civilian positions. So for a total of 23.
You know, for anyone that's thinking about joining a law enforcement organization, can't think of a better time to join the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office, because we got that 10% raise. Thank you to Sheriff Johnson, and thank you to the commissioners.
County commissioners.
Absolutely.
Huge raise, and it's a good time to start with our Sheriff's Office and get in on the ground level, and it's a great organization. So with that, I also want to mention MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Walk Like Mad event currently taking place. If you want to donate any unwanted shoes that you have, we have pickup points at any Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office substation or our main office, and it ends at the end of the month. So if you'd like to donate to a great cause, go ahead and do that. Bring in your old shoes or anything you don't use, and make a donation at any of our offices. Captain, anything?
You gonna clean out your closet, get rid of some of your heels?
No, actually, I got a lot of sneakers.
He's
I
got a
need to get rid
pool
of.
now, so he's
Heels,
probably going
really,
to
heels.
sell some of his flippers.
See, I was nice to him, and he ends up with a heel joke. All right, Captain, I got you. Folks, want to thank you for joining us, and Captain, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. It's been
I
a
was
long
talking
time.
to Captain
yeah,
Freeman.
good. Well, thanks.
You, Captain,
Thanks for
thanks
having
for
me.
the joke, and we'll see you on our next show. You guys take care.